to a impromptu cryptocurrency stream, Crypto Saturdays with Lynell. Salute. We were supposed to have Ike on. I do apologize because I had my times mixed up. As most of you know, I don't really have a set schedule. However, we still have a great show for you. A lot of interesting news in the cryptocurrency world. Lynell, go ahead and introduce yourself for those who are not familiar with you, or just let the audience know one more again who you are, bro.
Hello, all. How you all doing? Thank you for having me on the show today, Solo. Well, as you all can see from my name is On Crypto with Lynell. That's my YouTube channel. On my channel, I strictly talk about crypto and more precisely cryptocurrency news and insights, where I go over the most relevant topics and news and articles of the day, Monday through Saturday, pre-recorded video, about between 25-30 minutes long in podcast form, where I keep you all on top of the latest things that are happening in the cryptocurrency space. And it's On Crypto with Lynell.
Okay, guys, this is a channel right there. And Lynell, because you always, and Lynell, I got to watch you. I got the notifications on, but I haven't been getting your notifications lately, bro. That's that YouTube weirdo stuff going again. I'm telling you. Lynell, before we get into the main topic, I like the anime background you got there.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Yo, Lynell, you rock with anime, my G? I didn't know that.
Man, My Hero Academia. You know what I just saw? And I'm late. I'm sad I'm late. I thought I saw it. I saw the DBZ Super Broly movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that fight scene was on another level.
Oh, I didn't even know you liked anime like now. That's
man,
because I reference animes in my video all the time. Obviously.
You see, I got the Gone from Hunter x Hunter. I got my hero when Gone became an adult to beat Pito. It's an all black. I got the My Hero Academia. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Lynell. So before we get into the main topic, let's do a quick review here. Now you have a video, and I didn't even look at this, but it says Ripple leaving US. It's a 30-minute video. That was 2 weeks ago. I didn't even catch that in the news, and usually I get my notifications. But can you talk about that, or what that video is about? Is Ripple leaving the US, or what's going on, bro? What did I miss?
Yeah, it's more of a question. What's going on right now is Ripple's CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, and one of its board of electives, Chris Larson, was saying that because of the regulatory clarity in the US regarding crypto in general, and also regarding XRP in specific, that compared to other countries are more readily to adopt cryptocurrency. In some aspects of the cryptocurrency, but in the US, it's such bureaucracy and red tape that they're saying that they could possibly see themselves leaving America one day to go to another country that's more favorable to them when it comes to regulatory clarity.
Okay, all right. I got to definitely check that out. And then also, let's do a quick recap as well. You made a video about Peter Schiff's bank. What's that about? What did he say or do?
Well, Peter Schiff is a well-known gold bug. He is pro gold, pro buying gold, keeping gold, gold to win, gold this, gold that. And that's not to say that he's totally wrong about gold. Gold has its purpose as an asset, but people are well known in the cryptocurrency space called Bitcoin Gold 2.0. And some time ago, he's taken offense to that. So there's been some back and forth, a lot of back and forth between Peter Schiff and Bitcoin maximalists on the internet, on Twitter. But recently, I don't know what interview it was, but the interviewer asked Peter Schiff about some allegations that came out about the bank that I think he's affiliated with, or his bank, that was servicing known criminals. And he walked out on the interview. It was yeah, it was all about that and how
That's not a good look walking
it's
out of
not.
the interview.
It's
That
not.
oh my, yeah, that's not good at all. Salute to Ike in the building. Shout out to Ike.
How
Hopefully
you doing?
he can hop on. Guys, we will open up the panel. You know what I'm saying? Since this is not one of my usual panels, I'm gonna open this up. I'm not gonna put a cap or a money cap on it like I usually do, because we want to get brothers the information. Because typically, on my other panels, as you know, Lynell, there's a lot of rah rah sometimes, and in this stream, we don't really attract that type of crowd for the most part. So I appreciate that. And let me just say, shout out to Jarius Howard with a $2 super chat. He says Cardano to $5 end of year. I've heard that before.
That'll be kind of hard because Cardano is at a couple cent, 11 cent, and we're in November. We got what, 2.5 months at the most.
Mm-hmm.
So
unless he knows something we don't, like now.
Unless that, so he may
Remember
be privy
Charlie Lee? Yeah, I'm still.
Yeah, he may be privy to information, but for Cardano to go to $5 from 11 cents, that's going to be a bitty, well, not a bitty, but a mighty big jump, and it's going to have to occur alongside Bitcoin rising in price also.
Well, Bitcoin is definitely going up, and we're gonna definitely talk about that as well. And also, shout out to Mr. Ill Wills. Good to see you, brother. He says, salute Solo TV 84. Was good, brother. Checking out your crypto broadcast. Yes, sir. This is the BP 2.0. This is what we do. We talk about wealth, health, and spiritual aspects as well. But this is the wealth segment here, guys. So welcome. Okay, so we're going to get into the main news about PayPal, okay? I'm going to read the article, and then I'm going to stop, of course, Lynell, to get your thoughts or inputs or clarification for people that may not be in the know, or just to get some clarification in general. And Lynell, how does my screen look? Can you read some of the letters, or did I make it bigger?
It's big enough.
Okay, perfect. All right, so this came out a couple days ago, and PayPal coming to crypto is big news for adoption, says the investor. Now, you guys already know me, and Lynell already knows this. I'm a huge a proponent of adoption. I think that's the biggest thing that's holding crypto back. That's just my opinion. But let's continue. Galaxy Digital CEO and multimillionaire Mike Novogratz recently hopped on CNBC Squawk Box for an interview detailing the importance of PayPal's upcoming 2021 Bitcoin BTC launch. Now, let's stop right there, because I know in our last panel, Lynell, we had talked about how Cash App was kicking PayPal's butt by the fact that Cash App has, all types of crypto. So obviously PayPal has seen what's going on, and they don't want to be left behind, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And then he's, go ahead.
So PayPal has to do this. PayPal, Cash App, Square owns Cash App, so they're in the same company, and other payment services of the like, they have to do this, because if one company is making more money than its competitor, and doing so in an industry that for right now the sky's the limit, then its stakeholders and its shareholders are going to be like, hey, what about Cash App is doing this, Square's doing this, such and such is doing this. Why aren't you doing this? Now, PayPal has been interested in cryptocurrency for some time, because you got to remember they were initially a part of the Facebook Libra committee launch, and they backed out. So they have had some interest in crypto for some time now.
Okay, and I just got to say this, not to sidetrack, but it's amazing, Lynell. When I was doing commentary 3 years ago, because I was just going through my old videos, and then of course you guys know me, I have my other channel, Cryptocurrency for Dummies, and some people are wondering, will I be active again? I think what I'm gonna do 2021 is I'll probably be more active on that channel, definitely. But I remember that there was a lot of criticism because of the fact that all these institutions were against crypto, and now these same institutions that were talking bad about it are jumping in it, and they're putting in a lot of money. The irony.
Yeah.
He says, I think that in some ways, the shot heard around the world on Wall Street, Novograd said in an October 23rd interview about PayPal's recent news. PayPal has 346 million accounts, he said, adding they're the 30th biggest bank in the US and deposits, and all of a sudden every financial institution says, wait a minute, what am I doing? PayPal plans to add Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash to its network sometime in 2021. Following the announcements of these plans, Bitcoin surged in price, ultimately overtaking the market cap of PayPal itself. If you're in the boardroom at Morgan Stanley or Goldman Sachs or Bank of America, you're thinking, how do I get engaged? Novograd said of crypto. Prior to his interview, the CEO said he took a peek at stock performances for companies involved in crypto, as well as Ethereum prices. And he pointed out that such assets have posted standout price gains in 2020. Now, what I want to say here real quick is that it's amazing to me to see all of this. And with everything that's going on crypto-wise for you guys that have been in the space for a while, I mean, we've been waiting for stuff like this. Lynell, I always say this. Once Amazon gets involved, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Yeah. What you just read, they said they're going to add a couple of cryptocurrencies. Now, mind you, one of the cryptocurrencies that is not a part of it is XRP. XRP is I'm going to say the third largest cryptocurrency by market cap. Technically, it's Tether, but Tether's a stablecoin. I read an article from Brad Garlinghouse, who's the CEO of Ripple, and he was saying that the reason PayPal did that he suspects is because of the lack of regulatory clarity. Now, I want to compare that to when a lot of crypto firms that don't necessarily have to do with cryptocurrency on the coin, but they're in the cryptocurrency space, they were labeled money transmitters, companies dealing with money, and they would be adopted in states in America, except for New York State, and this became a thing. The reason for that was because New York's financial department or financial grounds in New York to run a financial company was really hard to break into. So whenever you read articles, that say, such and such company is in all these states except New York, it was that reason. So to compare that to what I just said, PayPal's adding Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash. And you say, well, they just skipped over XRP. Well, it's because of the lack of regulatory clarity, and they don't want to get chopped up into that, red tape.
I understand. But Lynell, and I know I'm speculating here, but that doesn't mean that PayPal in the future might not consider it or do it, right?
True.
So that's but you bring up a very point, and that is definitely something that is important and I wasn't aware of. And shout out to Bob Brown with the $10 super chat. He says Solo was talking about Bitcoin when it was like 2K. Listen, folks, but be careful of pump and dumps. You know what, Lynell? I wish it was 2K again. So I could...
Yeah, I know those were the times, wasn't it?
Those were the times, but the assets wasn't right for me to jump in. But let me continue reading the article here. We're going to see over the next 10 years a rebuilding of the financial infrastructure of this country, Novograd said. It was interesting that PayPal hired Paxos to do their integration with crypto because there's a domain expertise in this cryptocurrency space, in this blockchain space that's needed. Paxos serves as the entity behind PAX or PAX, one of the mini US dollar pegged stablecoins in the crypto industry. The institution also touts other functions such as custody. Okay. Then there's a quote. It was the COVID virus that really accelerated, as horrible as it sounds, accelerated the adoption of crypto in two ways. The macro story with Bitcoin and the more maybe important story of digitalization of all cash, digitalization of the financial service systems that's going to mostly be built on Ethereum. Now, let's talk about that for a second, Lionel, because I remember that when they were passing out the first round of stimulus checks, right? I think they'll pass out a second round after the election, but we can talk about that more in a moment. But I remember that the IRS or Homeland Security, they were looking at getting it out digitally, right? They had gotten a patent, I believe, out on the what's the name? I forgot the name. I should have had this written down. But that was very interesting to me to see that, right? And that's more proof that, and I've been telling you guys this, the government, they're all about crypto. But here, let me emphasize that. They want to be able to control it, right? And Lionel, do you agree that COVID has accelerated the adoption of crypto? What's your take on that? Or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, COVID has accelerated not only the talk and the thought and the possibility of adopting cryptocurrency and stable coins and central bank digital currencies, but also other technologies. But sticking to this topic, yes, the COVID and what's going on now has accelerated those talks, those plans, those sandboxes in terms of countries, not only America, but countries around the world talking about they're going to do a digital currency and release some type of adoption and of the digital currency.
Okay, and then Lionel, if you want to pull up your screen share with the live crypto prices on Live Coin Watch. I know that. Hey, and shout out to Lionel because he put me on Live Coin Watch. I don't go on the other John no more. So shout out to Lionel for doing it. And we're going to talk about the rise of Bitcoin. And like I said, guys, we'll open up the panel in about 10 minutes. But we're going to talk about the jump here in Bitcoin and why we think that is. And so Lionel got the screen. And yeah, Lionel, go ahead, bro. Break it down. And I'm going to put myself on mute.
All right. So we're looking at the chart. This is a 4-hour chart of Bitcoin on TradingView. And I am learning technical analysis. I'm getting better in learning technical analysis. I know a lot of people there are fundamental analysis, and that's fine. Bitcoin going up to 13K, hitting resistance of 13.2, that was a news-driven catalyst because PayPal is a big player in the financial industry in America. And PayPal adopting Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash is something big. So this recent pump is a news-driven catalyst. But on the whole, this is a market, and all of these price movements are people that are participating in the buying and selling of Bitcoin. And this is the market psychology. This is a chart of all the people that are participating in Bitcoin in this market psychology. And that human psychology, collective human psychology, tends to create shapes, patterns. And right now, repeatable patterns at that. And right now, we're looking at a symmetrical triangle where you have two converging trend lines, and the candlesticks get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Right here, you see Bitcoin gapped up. Gapping a gap, either up or down, means that in this, since it's a green candlestick right here, it's a bullish gap that market participants had so much buying pressure that the price gapped up. And you could say the reverse when it gapped down, that market participants had so much selling pressure that the price gapped down. It gapped up, but it was the momentum did respected that converging trend line that I used these two anchor points and respected that, hit that previous historical support resistance of 13.2, and it's still in that symmetrical triangle. Now, what could this mean? Well, momentum indicates on the MACD we have waning negative momentum with these lighter colored histograms. And on stochastic, we are in neutral territory running up to overbought. So the price could break out to the upside. Now, I hear a lot of people on YouTube and anywhere that's talking about crypto that they say Bitcoin will go up to $250,000, $300 million. That's these exorbitant prices. I'm not saying Bitcoin can one day hit 25,000. I'm not saying Bitcoin cannot one day hit 50,000. It certainly is possible with the amount of institutions, rich people, countries, retail people coming into the industry. Yes, the price is going to go up, but pinpointing where it's going to stop or go to is kind of hard. It's kind of hard to do with these oscillations, meaning these up and down price movements. A lot of people may think, okay, we invest in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to go to these high prices. I think a lot of people think Bitcoin will just do one of these moves, go up and just boom, all the way up, all just no nonstop, nonstop, all the way up. And that's hard. Show me a chart where this has happened consistently from these low prices to hit the 50 or $100,000 price movements. There's going to be some ups and downs in that. There's going to be a lot of ups, going to be a lot of downs. So yeah, let's say Bitcoin does hit $50,000. It's not going to be tomorrow. It's going to take some time to get up there because it's got to have to pass 14,000,
Wait,
15,000,
and
16,000.
Lynell, not to cut you off, but another thing, because I read an article a couple of days ago by a guy who's an analyst. His name is Naheem Aslam, and he basically was saying in the article, Lynell, that one of the things that's also going to slow cryptos down is that regulators are not going to allow it to replace fiat currency. So that's going to be a roadblock, he said, basically, for the acceleration of crypto to go parabolic, as a lot of us hope. Do you agree with that sentiment as well, or no?
Yeah, because these countries have large amounts of cash and they have larger markets can remain irrational more than you can remain solvent. Meaning you're trying to fight a country that still wants to control its money supply. That money supply equals sovereignty for that country. Bitcoin is already threatening lower tier countries such as Venezuela, uh, Argentina, and their inflating currency. People are already turning to an alternative to save their wealth, to save their buying power. So countries was looking at this and say, well, we don't want this to replace it. But at the same time, it's the contradiction that some people may perceive. Countries are also buying Bitcoin, and that's perfectly fine. They can on one hand make sure that their control of power in the financial markets is a-okay, and on the other hand, also buy Bitcoin. They don't have to shun Bitcoin in order to protect their buying power, protect their money. They can do both, and that's fine. We can ride the coattails of that sentiment. We can ride the coattails of countries buying Bitcoin, of companies buying Bitcoin and putting into their asset preserves, of rich individuals and family offices buying Bitcoin, of other people buying Bitcoin and other top tier cryptocurrencies. We can ride those coattails. We don't have to be invested emotionally in, oh, this is going to be the next world reserve currency. To be honest, I think a lot of people hear that and they just carry the flag on that. What do you care if this is going to be the world's next reserve currency? If it's not and you still make money, isn't it the same outcome? If it is Bitcoin, if Bit, I said Bitcoin, Back to the Future. If Bitcoin do not become the world reserve currency, but still hit those moonlight prices of $100,000, what do you care?
And
Not
like now,
specifically you, but I'm saying
I
in
shared
general.
a Twitter link with you in the private chat, but basically, a guy posted something that I found funny. He said, "J.P. Morgan from Bitcoin is a fraud and will blow up in 2017 to Bitcoin's competition with gold in 2020." I mean, this is what I was referencing to earlier, because I remember when JP Morgan was coming out and saying that. and now JP Morgan is so bullish on Bitcoin and crypto.
Yeah, Jamie Dimon once, like you said, you mentioned before, Jamie Dimon once said, if anybody works for me that owns Bitcoin, have purchased Bitcoin, they'll be fired. And then I don't know when his daughter came out and said that she purchased Bitcoin and has made some money on it. And at the same time, him saying that behind his back, he was actually dabbling in Bitcoin. So
Right. And Lynell,
yeah,
let's get off topic, but can you fire an employee for investing in cryptocurrency? Isn't that illegal for them to get fired unless it's stated in their contract or something like that? And
that
even then,
is.
so I don't know. I mean, maybe there's some former JP Morgan employees who may have gotten fired. If they were, they got a lawsuit on their hands, I guess. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
But that
Yeah.
lets you know
Yeah.
right now that even back then they knew that this was legit. For him to say something like that aggressively, that lets you know, like, whoa, this is like, it lets you just know. And now JP Morgan is talking so highly of crypto. It's amazing. Very amazing.
When Bitcoin hit $20,000 from what, just under $1,000 in 1 year, without institutional wealthy individuals slash family offices doing it, that's when a lot of light bulbs went off around the world. I can
Mm,
say that much.
okay,
Yeah.
definitely. Lynell, do you want me to throw out the link for anybody who has a question or wants to add some input? Or
Hey, go ahead. While
okay.
you do that, I want to show attention to, you mentioned a lot of top companies. There's four companies in the country that are worth $1 trillion. Apple, which is worth around 2 trillion, they just went down about half a percent. They were worth 2 trillion. You got Microsoft, Amazon, and Google. These are trillion-dollar companies that when you said if not Apple, but Amazon gets into cryptocurrency, it's over. Microsoft already has something to do with cryptocurrency. Microsoft Cloud Service, Azure, like Amazon Web Services, the Microsoft version of that is Azure. What they're doing, and also Google, what they're doing is partnering with some firms and some crypto companies to put blockchain as a service on their cloud service. So countries and also businesses can use and spin up blockchains for their own business.
Okay. Now, like now, we do have a question on Twitter because I did post this on my Twitter, and this is by a YouTuber called Morpheus. They base Pluto. You may have seen the guy, funny guy. He says, Lynell, what are your thoughts about crypto decentralization and record keeping with blockchain?
Decentralized. So, as far as the record keeping, it's blockchain, so it's immutable.
Yeah, I find the
Right.
question kind of, but yeah.
Well, I'll just explain. I'll just try to answer it the best way I think he's trying to ask it. So, with record keeping, as long as there's people actively downloading the blockchain, meaning keeping the blockchain up to date with every transaction, and transactions doesn't necessarily have to be money. People may be putting information onto Bitcoin's blockchain, and they're doing it by sending money back and forth with information attached to those monetary transactions. So transaction doesn't necessarily have to be money. To give you an example of that, IOTA. IOTA is a combination of two things, IoT and IOTA, like a measurement. An IOTA measurement is something small. IoT is the Internet of Things. An example of the Internet of Things device is when your microwave can connect to the internet, when your coffee pot can connect to the internet. So when you wake up in the morning, you can ask your personal assistant to say, hey, such and such, Alexa, Google, tell the coffee maker to start. Those are examples of Internet of Things. And those are small informations being sent back and forth on the internet. So when you have IOTA, which a city can implement IOTA Tango network onto their city, then you're looking at a lot of small bits of information going back and forth. And for that to happen, they're using IOTA as a transaction to send information back and forth. So that is an example of what the bits of information that's being stored onto a blockchain that does not necessarily mean all the time monetary transactions. It's all encompassing with monetary and information being stored that people don't want that information to be forgotten as long as that blockchain strengthens over and over in the future.
Okay, very well answered. Now we got Trojan Magician in the building. For those who are familiar with Trojan, he's one of my favorite moderators. I don't see Trojan anymore unless he comes on when we have a crypto stream, but he must have hopped on. But by the way, guys, this panel is open. So now, Lynell, Bitcoin is at 13K. What's the next resistance? Is it 14K to get to 15K, or what do you see happening?
So with these resistances, it's also easier to think of them as psychological resistances, because this is people buying and selling this thing. So when you held it at 3,000, some lucky person came in the market like, I'm going to buy it at 3,800, and they bought it, and it's been going up since then, and it hit 15,000. Psychologically, that person just made a gain of $12,000 in the realm of COVID. So people may say, buy and hold, why are you selling? You know, they get on your back and yell at you in your face when you sell your Bitcoin. But in the realm of COVID, or any other situation a person, an individual may have, they just made $12,000 within a year, on top of whatever other money that they've been making that year. They're going to sell. So the next psychological resistance I can see is around $13,800, $14,000. And I need to look at the weekly. So it's clear right here. Let me zoom in. This current green candlestick is at a psychological resistance right here, which is just pierced through from July 2019. It's just pierced through. The week is 1 day, 3 hours left in the week of this candlestick. Nobody told the participants of this market now that, okay, run the price up to this resistance from a year ago and make it seem like technical analysis is real. No, they psychologically did that. This is psychological resistance. The next one is around, like I said, 14,000, and so on and so on. Actually, I misspoke. After the 14,000 psychological market cap, which is the second highest peak in Bitcoin, the next one is between $14,000 and $20,000. Logically, it would be the $20,000 resistance. So we'll see.
Okay, interesting. We got Ike in the building. Ike, what's going on, brother? Once again, apologies, sir, for changing the time on you. I had forgotten that, me and my lady friend, she made dinner reservations. How are you, sir?
I am very fine, thank you. Shout out to Lynell and the other people in the chat.
How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, sir. I'm fine. I'm just out here working, and I figured I just wanted to come into because I definitely respect your opinion, and I'm, like you say, I'm getting also into more and more the technical analysis side of things, right? So for one thing that you just said earlier was that whether or not Bitcoin becomes the new world reserve currency, whether this libertarian dream gets achieved or not, why do you care? And that's talking about most people, right? Because for most people, it really is just something that's speculative and they're trying to make money, right? Mm-hmm. So why the hell would they care? Something that came to mind immediately is, what are your thoughts about a possible counter to that? And this is not for the people, this is going to be for those true believers, right? The true believers may say, hey, you still need me, Mr. Speculator, right? And again, it's just, just me talking, right? Just to see what you say to it, right? That you still need me, Mr. Speculator, because especially in the initial phases, and perhaps we're still in the initial phases, because you mentioned earlier, speaking of initial phases, before big money came in, so on and so forth, there was a rise, right, in the price, and that if without me, a true believer, without somebody who says, I'm going to hold and I believe in the vision and rah, 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 that your speculations will never actually manifest. Is what I'm saying valid? Is that a valid comeback or pushback by them? And then I have another quick question after.
Yeah, it's a valid pushback because what I've seen, people that come into the crypto space, they hear and they do research, their own research of why Bitcoin is, what's going on. And some of the first things that they run into is the libertarian cypherpunk mantras and their beliefs. And they grab hold onto that along with hype channels in crypto that says Bitcoin going to whatever, Bitcoin's going to take over the world. And they combine those two things together and say, and they become fanatics and say it's Bitcoin is not Bitcoin or nothing. That's why I say, well, what do you care if Bitcoin goes to these high numbers when a lot of people first heard about these thought process such as libertarian cypherpunk just a couple months or years ago, and they want it to survive so much, and that survival is contingent on Bitcoin increasing in price. So that's why I'm saying, what do you care now? As far as the hardcore developers, people that are mining on it, yes, I'm not really talking to them because they've been in it from since day one. A lot of them been in since day one,
Yeah.
and they are really about adopting the technology part aspects also. But I was more talking about the people that really just heard about, well, what's the cypherpunk? Well, what's cyberterrorism? You know, not cyber, but all that, and they really became fanatics. So those people.
Gotcha. They really became fanatics, but really all they're after is just for the thing to grow. They're not really, let's say, true believers. Gotcha. Now you also, and this is kind of in line with the market going up and the big money and so on and so forth. I hear people talk about ETFs for Bitcoin, right? And if you listen to obviously the cypherpunk side of things, you know, they'll crucify you if you start talking about things like ETFs and such, right? But what are your thoughts on that? Some people say, well, that is, by the time we get to real ETFs, that means, you know, that is when the big money has full control now, and it may be inevitable or not, but just in general, what are your thoughts about Bitcoin ETFs? Because some people are like, oh, I want to get involved with it, but I'm going to go in through ETFs. Other people say, well, why the hell would you want to do that? What are your thoughts?
Well, in 2018, when Bitcoin was declining for 20K, a lot of people it was a lot of information that talked about, hey, a lot of big players in the industry wanted to get an ETF push pass, and the ETF was seen as something to bring liquidity into Bitcoin, thus boosting its price up again. And the ETF is short for an exchange traded fund, where hopefully everyone who knows who John Bogle is, he packaged these financial items for people to purchase that represented, or was a derivative of companies in, not was a derivative, but it was somewhat a derivative, but held a assortment of companies in a certain sector or certain dividend paying companies. And a Bitcoin ETF was a way for people to get exposed to Bitcoin on the buying and selling of stocks without actually holding the underlying asset, which is Bitcoin, without having to go through the custody. So it was that exposure through ETF was going to expose Bitcoin's price action to the stock market, which is magnitudes larger than the cryptocurrency market. So that was going to include some type of liquidity. What would have happened was these companies would have hopefully bought Bitcoin, said, hey, this is our ETF. Look at the information. We hold 10,000, 20,000, 40,000, 50,000 Bitcoin. And they were going to say, okay, Bitcoin price is going up. We're going to offer to you this ETF, to you, Mr. Stock Investor, to invest in Bitcoin without actually holding Bitcoin. So that was what people wanted to happen, but it didn't manifest.
Will it still? Is there a possibility that it comes to pass at some point?
Sure,
And
yeah.
okay, okay. So the people that are right now saying that they're gonna get Bitcoin through the ETFs, you're saying that it's not even possible right now? Because I haven't looked into that because I'm not really interested in Bitcoin ETFs anyway. I just get the Bitcoin. But how come I'm hearing people say that? Are they about to get scammed or something?
Yeah, the SEC has not passed a Bitcoin ETF in America. So they're going to get scammed if they've seen they invest in Bitcoin. Now, what they can be doing is investing into Grayscale. Grayscale actually
Mhm.
holds Bitcoin, and they have something called they have a couple items, but one of them is called the GBTC, which is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust,
Yes, yes.
and it is $14.38. Now, when you buy a stock of this, you're not actually holding an entire Bitcoin. You're not actually holding the Bitcoin, period.
Mhm.
But also, you're not actually holding an entire Bitcoin. So you're holding the equivalent of $13, and it's trading at a premium at like $1.30 premium. So you're holding point 0.00001 of a Bitcoin. So you can have exposure to Bitcoin. And Grayscale is the largest holder, institutional holder of Bitcoin, I believe.
Mhm.
And you can be have exposure to Bitcoin through Grayscale Bitcoin Investment Trust by buying stocks. They also have the Ethereum Investment Trust, ticker symbol ETHE, ETHE, and they have come out with the Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash Trust, where people can purchase stock in that trust over your regular buying stock ways, such as E-Trade, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, and so forth.
Gotcha. Definitely heard of Grayscale's purchase, massive purchase gobbling up of all the Bitcoin and then also the GBTC as well. So I'm gonna back off a little bit, continue working here. I may be able to chime in as time goes on. But yeah, thank you very much for that there because I hear a lot of the let's say OGs or the cypherpunk types, the actual coders and so on and so forth, say that really it's about they act as though they do not benefit from the speculators, is what I'm saying, right? Like it's
Mm.
all about them, and it's like, well, no, you benefit from the speculators, and yes, also the speculators benefit from you guys because you guys stood strong and got it to this point. But they both need each other, is the way I kind of
Well,
look at it.
one
Go
of
ahead.
the biggest things that people don't, they tend to forget is that, it's not really the news that's pushing Bitcoin or the adoption. It's really that we are in the post-halvening cycle. Like we had a almost 3-year bear run where cryptos were dropping or hovering or not really doing much, but we just had the halvening this year, and people don't understand how huge that is because the big run in 2017 happened a year after the halvening, and we had an amazing run the year of the halvening in December near the end of the year. So we are nearing pretty much, I would say, the first um, birthing pain or the first little preview of this post halvening cycle, and we're going to go into it December. A lot of people in crypto are going to be very, very happy when they see their profiles in December. But it's only going to go up even more. I keep telling people that 2021 is going to be 2017 part 2. It's going to be that halvening cycle that everybody like went crazy and people mortgaged their houses to get Bitcoin, and like Bitcoin was just going up and then dipping and then going up even more, and then, everybody thought it was going to go to the moon. And really when it's positive, people like to look at all the other things and sort of overanalyze, but really it's we're in bull territory. We just are, because we're past the halvening. And next year, whatever happens at the end of the year is cool. But what's about to happen next year is going to blow people's socks off. Bitcoin and crypto is going to be in the news all over the place because it will reach those heights because it's post halving, but also it's all this mainstream adoption that's going to be pushing the price as well, and it's going to be pulling the altcoins with it, and it's going to start to jump. My prediction is that Bitcoin will at least jump from 50 to 100K because
Okay, and
it
by the way,
does
that's
need to
Trojan
do that
Magician
big jump.
speaking. For those who don't know, yeah, guys, if you're speaking, introduce yourself so people know
Oh,
who's talking. Mhm.
sorry. Yeah, I'm Trojan Magician. Y'all know me. I've appeared on the channel a lot. Couldn't appear a lot because of COVID, and I work as a nurse, and I've been like forced to do ridiculous hours the last couple months. By the way, be careful, guys. Looks like the second wave is upon us, so um, sanitize your hands, don't touch your face, wear your mask. It is real, and it is out there. But yeah, crypto is going to start making big moves. But we got to get past this dip. And I personally believe we're not done with the dip. I think that Bitcoin's going to jump a little. You know, it's jumping because of the news, but it might have to finish this little cycle. And I feel like the election, we should really be looking at that day
Mhm.
for what happens, what impact it has to the market, because it will have a huge impact no matter what it's going to be. Something is going to happen to the market. Either goes up a lot or it's going to go down a lot and tank.
Mhm.
Now, I have a question. What's your definition of Bitcoin bull run? Like 20, 40, $50,000?
Yeah, so pretty much what I use to determine what will probably happen is what happened in the past. The past is the best indicator of the future pretty much when it comes to things like this. And when I look at the 2016 and 2017, you know, little bull cycles we had, it was sort of like a little jump. You know, obviously October, I guess that's just the annual dip month. Everything goes down in October every year with crypto, almost always. But December is always, almost always when prices start to shoot up to ridiculous levels. But in 2016, it was like it shot up a little bit, like like a little bit. And then all throughout 2017, it didn't just go straight up. It dipped a little, then it jumped up, then it dipped a little and jumped up higher, then it dipped a little and jumped up higher. So that 50 to 100K, we will not see that until end of next year, most likely. But
So,
I am 100% sure that we are at least going to hit 20K at the end of the year because it just makes sense with the numbers and the proportions to what it did last time after the halving in 2016. Because it's going to shoot up a little bit to its previous all-time high. It'll touch it, but it won't pass it. It'll just touch it. And then what's going to happen is all throughout 2017 part 2, also known as 2021, it's going to start doing that really, that cycle that gets everybody excited. It's going to go up, dip, go up even more, dip, go up even more, dip. And the thing is altcoins are going to be doing that as well. And in a way, a lot of altcoins could actually have larger percentage gains than a lot of the coins that we're looking at. And that's why, like, I'm in a crypto group and I tell these people, and I'm in a few, and we see that when you get into altcoins that have the right technology behind them, and they're working to create adoption, and they're working to create a platform that's going to be adopted by multiple people and become a part of mainstream society, their coins are going to jump like significantly while Bitcoin has these bull cycles, because Bitcoin, it still has control over every altcoin. If altcoin could work their butt off, they're not going to see the return that they're supposed to see until Bitcoin decides it's time to move.
so you
So it's
agree
sort of
that,
like a,
go ahead.
mhm. No,
So you,
yeah,
so you agree that the altcoins are driven by what Bitcoin do?
Yes, for now. That won't be the case always, but Bitcoin is still,
for right now.
crypto is still a new market.
Right
But
now,
Bitcoin, yeah, yep, it's going to be
you
temporary. It's going to be
you
temporary. It's not always going to happen, but it is happening right now. Yes.
yeah, both right now. So you
Yeah.
said your definition of what your prediction of where Bitcoin will go is between 20,000 and 100,000 by the end of next year.
End of next year, I see it between 50,000 to 100,000, honestly.
50,000. Now,
20,000 is what I see it at the end of this year. And the reason why is because last time after the bull cycle at the end of the year in 2016, it all it did was touch its old all-time high. It didn't go past it. It didn't, it, you know, it just touched it. So what's its old all-time high? It's 20,000. So if it's following the pattern that it did the last happening, it should be touching 20K this December.
now, do you believe since altcoins are tied to Bitcoin, do you believe Bitcoin is tied to the dollar? The price movements of the dollar.
Yes. And I'm gonna tell you why. So pretty much Bitcoin has, once the government found out they can't get rid of it, they've tried to sort of manipulate it in a way. They don't have full control over it, but they've tried to, make little moves and, in the S&P, or little things and, to try to influence Bitcoin. That's a better word. They influence it, not really full on manipulation. So because of that, it's being sort of held, in place because um, they can't have Bitcoin go loose. If Bitcoin goes loose, everybody knows what happened. Everybody run away from the dollar. Dollar would collapse. End of society as we know it. But they need to make sure that it's at least suppressed a little bit. But see, the happening, they can't control this breakout that's about to happen. And I tell people all the time, Bitcoin is going to do its thing. And Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP and Litecoin, those are amazing coins for adoption. Those are coins that you're probably going to be buying a coffee with, in the future with your phone. They're probably going to put a barcode up on the screen and you scan it and you pay for your coffee with some Litecoin or XRP or Bitcoin or something like that. But these altcoins are coming up with technology that is so useful. They're solving million and billion dollar problems with their technology. And they're not really gaining traction because Bitcoin is still holding it down. But when Bitcoin starts to get released, like what we're going to see in December, and then what we're going to see next year in 2017 part 2 or 2021, we're going to see them jump to what they're supposed to jump to. And, I will say an example, Theta, right? Theta is a cryptocurrency that wants to create a decentralized internet or video streaming platform where people get cryptocurrency for watching videos. It's sort of like YouTube. So, think of it as you would super chat with the crypto that you earn for watching videos. It's an absolutely genius plan, and they supply bandwidth for other video streaming platforms to hold their supply of bandwidth in their servers. But every person who has the crypto makes up the server. So they just solved $1 billion problem right there instantly. But when they start to get the traction that they're supposed to do, because they've made partnerships with Samsung and Sony, and they want to create nodes where people are pretty much mining their crypto by watching TV. And Samsung and Sony have signed off on this. Um, when they do this, their crypto is going to be adopted like at ridiculous levels to the point where it may even catch up to a lot of these first generation cryptos. And when this happens, well, the thing is that this is happening, right? But the problem is Bitcoin is still holding it down a little bit. So when this breakout happens with Bitcoin, these coins that have been doing these ridiculous, revolutionary advancements in the technology, they're gonna reach their true potential or their true price, or where they were supposed to be. And it's going to be monumental, because you're going to see these coins jump up 10, 20, 30 times their original price. So that's why this is a huge thing, not just for Bitcoin, but for adoption and for people hodling these altcoins in general, anybody in crypto.
Now, a few things. For those who don't know, he
Mhm.
says the halving. The halving is every 4 years, Bitcoin's emission rate, or the number of Bitcoins that is being mined and put out to purchase, is halved. When Bitcoin first started, first it was 50.
Yeah.
When the people that were mining Bitcoin on their home computers, they were actually getting 50 Bitcoin for every block. And a block is mined every between 9.5 and 10 minutes. For every block, people were getting 50 Bitcoin. Then in I think 2012, the first halving happened, and it got cut down to 25. 2016 got cut down to 12.5 Bitcoins, and this past Bitcoin halving in May, it was cut down to 6.25 Bitcoin. For those who don't know, that's what the halving is. And the next halving is logically in 2024. Me and you differ on one major thing. You are more of a fundamental investor. Me personally, I am more of a technical analyst investor. I see Bitcoin going inverse of the dollar. And to prove that, I'm looking up the Dixie. The Dixie is a dollar index. To give you a definition of what the Dixie is, I'll look up Dixie on Google. The US stock index tracks the strength, and I'm reading from right here for those who are looking at my screen. The US dollar index, DXY or Dixie, tracks the strength of the dollar against a basket of major currencies. In this other definition, it tells you
Wait.
what are.
So I just want to clarify, like, what are you saying? What do you mean by it's going to inverse with the US dollar?
I'm leading up to there.
Like, what do you mean by that?
I'm leading up to there.
Okay.
The
But like,
of currency.
I just don't understand the point. Like,
I'm
are you saying that the
I'm leading up to there.
dollar value is going to decrease?
I'm leading up to there.
Oh,
The basket of currencies
all right.
that it's pegged against is the euro, Japanese yen, Canadian dollar, British pound, Swedish krona, and Swiss franc. I'm just letting you all know what the Dixie is, because I don't want to say this is the dollar index, and people would say, well, what's the index? What is that? So I'm giving you more of a information. Bitcoin ran up from January 2017 to about February 2018. And there were some price increases prior to that, but those price increases was not compared to the 2017 movement. The 2017 movement was also coordinated with the decline of the dollar. The dollar started to decline right here in January 2017, and it ended right about here, February 2018. Also, Bitcoin did rise in 2010, 2013-ish, where it jumped from about $200 to $300. All of those is correspondence with the dollar decline. The dollar has been rising since 2011. It's in an upward channel. Right now, the dollar has been respecting this upward parallel channel since 2011. Right now, it's bouncing off the bottom of the channel. We have this can bring this up. The stochastic is in oversold territory on the dollar, meaning the momentum. This momentum indicator is turning up. So, per my technical analysis, the dollar index is going to rise. Inversely, Bitcoin is going to fall. Where to? I don't know. I'm just going off what I see from the technical analysis. I asked you previously, do you agree? And you said, yeah, that other cryptocurrencies are tied to Bitcoin. Yeah, that could decouple in the next couple of years. But for right now, it is what it is. We're dealing with right now.
I have a question for you. Sorry to interrupt you. If the stimulus package gets passed in the U.S.
Yeah, who's talking? Can you, whoever's talking, can you guys introduce yourself first so the audience knows who's speaking? Thank you.
Okay, sorry. This is Jordan Coleman. Yeah. I just have a question for you because I'm super interested in this. If the U.S. passed the stimulus package, would a dollar fall accordingly, or do you think that's not correlated?
Um, you have to recognize that the dollar is the world reserve currency. That gives it certain rights. Majority of the money that the Fed printed, those $1 trillion, the majority of that is held outside the country. Other countries see the dollar stronger than its own native currency. A lot of countries in Europe have negative interest rates. One in particular is Sweden. So if you can get more money just by holding the dollar compared to your native currency, a lot of people will see that that dollar, which is the world reserve currency, it's used for trade, will see it stronger than its own native currency, such as, excuse me, people in these, I got to burp, in these high inflation countries, they, in order to keep their wealth, they use other currencies, and everybody recognizes the dollar. If you see a Rwandan currency, you won't recognize what it is. That brand recognition and recognize that this is strong, people will want that more. You can look it up. What a lot of the money the Fed printed is held outside the country. It's not actually within the country. That stimulus, you're telling people, and not specifically you, but I've heard this on YouTube. Oh, when they pass them the stimulus check, people get their $1,200. They're going to invest it into Bitcoin. What you're saying is, what not specifically you, I'm saying you as as a general person, that all these people will go bypass them not having a job. For those that don't have a job, need to pay their rent, need to buy food, need to buy whatever to sustain them in these winter months that's coming, to go buy Bitcoin. I don't necessarily see, because the government passing the stimulus check, that is a cause as to why Bitcoin will go up. It's a lot of fanaticism that says, oh, government give you money, Bitcoin's going to go up. What? How is that correlated? That's not correlated.
That's not what we're correlating though. We're
No, no,
correlating
no.
it
I
with the
said,
halvening, which historically got the price to go up. We're not talking about the
and
stimulus check in its relation to the US dollar.
no, I'm saying I assume I answer his question. For your what you're saying, Bitcoin went up because of the halving. That's a fundamental, and I said we disagree on that. I'm not saying you're wrong. You are looking at it from a fundamental standpoint. I'm looking at it from a technical standpoint and saying that when Bitcoin went up, it also correlates with the dollar decline. When you buy Bitcoin, you look at the ticker symbol. I'm gonna click on it. It's
Mm-hmm.
BTC USD. It's BTC versus the dollar. That's where I'm looking at it from. I never saying, hey, you're wrong. I said that when I first started, I said that we're looking at it from two different standpoints. I'm looking at it from a technical standpoint. You're looking at it
True,
from a
but
more
the
fundamental
dollar
standpoint.
the dollar has been declining as Bitcoin has had this 3 year long bear run. So how would you explain that as well? Because it has been declining since 2011, right? So
No,
then
it's
why
been
would Bitcoin
inclining.
have that 3 year
It's
long
been
bear run?
going, it's been going up since 2011. And with price either goes up, down, or sideways. And there's oscillations in between that run up so far since 2011. And a lot of those declines do coordinate with Bitcoin rising when the dollar was falling. I just showed you one in 2017, that great bull run, where the price
That's
of that the Dixie hit the top of this ascending parallel, went all the way to almost the bottom of this ascending parallel, and Bitcoin rose from about 900 to $20,000. Even before then, Bitcoin
but
price went up from
with
a.
all
Go ahead.
with all due respect, correlation is not causation can does not equal causation. So, that could be subjective. It could be, some other foreign policies. It could be, anything else, really. I mean, there's also gold and silver that's also starting to move up at historical prices that haven't been seen since 2011 as well. Because we did have like a sort of mini scare, sort of recession in 2011 that moved gold and silver, and now it's moving again at those levels. So it wouldn't really make sense if that compared to your chart as well.
Okay, so what you're saying is, aside from the gold and silver, I'll get to that, that correlation does not equal causation. I'm showing you it is exactly correlated. That when Bitcoin started to rise, it was the exact same time the dollar fell in 2017, as we all recalls the Great Bull Run. I'm showing you right here. You saying it could be some other policy. I would challenge you to show me what other reasons it went up. I understand you're saying the halving. We have a difference in belief on that, but you also said some other foreign policy. What other foreign policy could there be? I'm saying I'm a technical analyst. I'm looking at the charts and seeing these correlations. Okay, the dollar rose, Bitcoin fell here. Dollar went up, Bitcoin fell. The dollar went down, Bitcoin went up. You also mentioned gold and silver. I can show you a chart that shows you the correlations. If you're telling me that the charts doesn't show that, you show me where on your charts it tells and it proves what you're saying. Because you're saying two different things at this point. You're saying fundamentally, because of the halving, Bitcoin did this, but you're also saying technically gold and silver did this. Which one are you saying?
Well, okay, so I would have to prepare my charts, obviously, and
Sure,
for
go
this
ahead.
occasion, I wasn't prepared to do that. But the thing is that gold and silver is also heavily manipulated by the government. I think we all know that, especially with the accusations that have been coming out almost every year of J.P. Morgan shorting the silver market. Every single year, they come up with those accusations, and it has been like revealed many times that J.P. Morgan has been sending pretty much like hush hush money to stop those accusations from coming out. So, I mean, it's a widely known thing that gold and silver and even Bitcoin, in a way, can be manipulated by the government. So that may explain the correlation with this U.S. dollar that you're talking about. But I feel like the biggest reason why we're seeing this move is because of the halvening. That is the biggest thing, because it's the same thing that happened in 2016 and 2017 when the
Trojan,
dollar was in a totally different place.
Wait,
can I
guys, can
ask?
I jump in real quick? And
Oh,
I'm enjoying the discussion. I just want to read this because this brother's been waiting. He says, will you gentlemen be covering NFT today? NFT are non-fungible tokens. I'm not very familiar with that. Are you guys familiar with NFTs?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I guess we can cover that maybe later on, but go ahead, guys. I'm enjoying the discussion. Sorry to interrupt you guys. Go ahead.
So the only way we'll see who's right, me or you, is time. Time will be the judge of it.
may I add something
Oh,
here
go
real
ahead.
quick?
Shoot.
I just wanted to
Is that
ask.
Ike?
Yes, this is Ike. My
Okay.
apologies.
Okay, go ahead, Ike.
I just want to ask a Trojan. You mentioned causation versus correlation, and in my albeit limited understanding of technical analysis, it's really a correlation game. No one is saying that they can kind of predict a mechanism. It's not the sun rising or the electromagnetic force. It's saying here's a bunch of correlations, we have patterns. But if you say that the halvening is causing the rise, and you say it's because it's the thing that happened last time, what is your causal mechanism for who is watching the halvening, who pays attention to it, and who rushes in? I know fundamentally, yes, it causes the more scarcity and so on and so forth, but really I'm asking for my own edification here. Who watches the happening? Who makes the market move? What is the causal pattern there beyond the correlation?
So the halvening is not really the cause or anything like that. It's really it's sort of like the limiter is being released, sort of thing. So because Bitcoin has been adopted a lot in the last 3 years, there have been many articles about stores and different businesses accepting Bitcoin and accepting cryptocurrency all over the world, not just America. There have been countries where they've set up shops where they accepted even altcoins like Cardano, Zilliqa, and different things like that. But that didn't push the price, because the halvening didn't make that scarcity. It didn't make that it didn't give the opportunity for Bitcoin to jump the way it was supposed to. Just like those altcoins that are solving billion-dollar problems, they can't rise yet because Bitcoin is the limiter. It's the sort of thing holding it back. And Bitcoin's limiter is this halvening. And now that the halvening has happened, everybody should be very bullish based on what happened in the past. And really, I mean, unfortunately, crypto hasn't been around too long. But if we analyzed a little bit of post-halvening, periods that we had, it has always surprised people. Not only the December of the halvening, but the next year after the halvening. And, every little news article, it packs weight now because it's part of the post-halvening bull run. So really, it's not really a cause, it's just the limiter. It's releasing it so it can do what it needs to do.
And
Thank you.
to touch on the technical aspects, it's about probabilities more. Like I said, this is for those that are participating and have participated in this market, particularly this. You know what? Let me go to Bitcoin. Make it this Bitcoin market. Those are people that are buying and selling. When you buy Bitcoin, you're purchasing it from a seller. When you're selling it, you're selling it to a buyer. Those people agree on a price. I can't just say I want to sell Bitcoin for $50,000 right now. Right now, no one's going to buy it. I have to come back down to the place that people agree on price. So, thusly, this is a chart of human psychology, and on for years, over 100 years, 100 years, technical analysts have studied this and said this collective human psychology form patterns that we recognize that repeat themselves over and over again throughout the years. And these patterns tell a tale of what's going on in the market. So on these higher time frames, such as the monthly, the weekly, and so forth, when the pattern occurs, that pattern is stronger compared to the lower time frames, such as the 5 minute, 15 minute. So on the Dixie, if I see an inverse head and shoulders pattern, that tells me, along with a an ascending triangle, not triangle, but what's this called? Parallel channel, that the price has been respecting since 2011. Like I said, on the larger time frames, it's more the psychology is stronger. It's been respecting this parallel channel. I'm willing to say that the dollar is going to go up, and because the dollar is going up, Bitcoin is going to go down, and I'm willing to say that. And I'm never saying that fundamental analysis is garbage. I said that we differ. There's fundamental analyst people out there, fundamental investors, and there's technical investors out there. They live. I'm not going to bash it. I've been a fundamental guy. I transitioned to technical analysis. What I'm saying is time's going to prove who's correct. And I'm willing to say that, go out on a very thin olive branch here and say that the dollar is going to go up in this ascending parallel channel. And because the dollar is going to go up, Bitcoin is going to decline. Now, when I say decline, a lot of people may think, oh, he's saying Bitcoin is going to go down to $1. No, Bitcoin can go down to a lower price than it is now and still not be in the trash. What I'm simply saying is, because the dollar, I think, probabilities, the dollar is going to go up, Bitcoin is going to decline. That's all I'm saying.
This is Ike. Just one thing there. Is it perhaps, if I were to say, restate what you said as that, this correlation that you've shown, therefore there's a probability that the dollar's movement upward will cause a downward pressure on Bitcoin. But you're not saying, just like you just said, right? And I'm just trying to restate it, and you can agree or disagree. You're not saying that, oh, that is the only thing that affects the Bitcoin. It's just a downward pressure. So someone may say, because of X, Y, and Z, the Bitcoin is going to go through the roof. And you're saying, hey, you're not considering this other roof here that is also there. Therefore, it's not going to go all the way to the stars. Maybe it's going to stop at the moon. You know, in other words, it could still actually even, maybe it goes up, but it's not going to go up as much as other people whom are only looking at some other factors may consider. In other words, downward pressure, not necessarily it's just free fall or it's the only factor. Am I
Correct.
making sense?
Yeah, because it's all about probability. There's no guarantees. Price don't this. I'm going to use expletive here if it's okay.
Well,
Price don't give a damn what I say. It's all about probability in technical analysis, and I'm seeing what may occur. I'm using the word may to mean probable will occur. It just sounds better. That's all I'm saying.
but we also need to look at the other factors as well. You know, a lot of the success of any currency, um, you know, it derives off of trust. And a lot of people are losing trust in the dollar, especially with what's going on, this printing and the stimulus checks and all the federal spending that's going on. But I honestly think it's kind of misleading to say that Bitcoin is going to go down, even though I know what you mean by it, because, you know, people do need to get into cryptocurrency, or they're going to end up getting into it later. Cryptocurrency is definitely not going anywhere, and the U.S. government has proved many times that they are behind on technology when it comes to cryptocurrency. A good example of this is the U.S. dollar stablecoin, is built on Ethereum's blockchain, Ethereum's network. They don't even have the technology to create their own blockchain. They're still an ERC20 token that's run on Ethereum network. You're going to need Ethereum to trade it and swing in all of that stuff. So when crypto starts becoming mainstream, the dollar will start to create a digital dollar, but it will be centralized. And once that dollar starts to become centralized, it's all about what the people want at that point. And if people trust the centralized digital dollar, that's cool. But I know personally, I feel like, and this is an opinion, but I do think that many people will start to drift towards decentralized currencies, for the reason that they don't want to, you know, tie themselves to the government, because the government, in a way, um, has shown many times that, you know, it can't be trusted when it comes to, um, pretty much money and stuff like this, because, you know, the currency is being hyperinflated. Well, not hyperinflated. I won't say hyperinflated. That's a little too extreme. But the currency is being inflated. And that's why I personally believe, I think people are going to start to run to gold and silver. And you can tell, because gold and silver, you can't find it much anymore physically. You can only really find it online. And then they will start to run into places where they can store their money, where it would be safe, because, you know, interest rates are going to zero. They may be going negative soon. So people, it's all about trust at that point. And then it's all about what the people want to do with their money. And personally, I think a lot of them are going to start to run to gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies.
Now, I want to put
And
out
that will
there
push the price up.
your statement was a fundamental statement, and that's fine. My statement is more of a technical standpoint. I never said that other crypto. I never said Bitcoin was going to go zero. I never said Bitcoin was going to go to trash. I'm saying that due to probabilities that Bitcoin will fall in price. Where? I don't know. I'm not specifically saying zero. I am invested into cryptocurrencies. I own Bitcoin. Yes, I do. I'm invested into other cryptocurrencies. I have skin in the game. You're saying, and I'm going to push back on something. I'm not trying to say that you're wrong. I'm just pushing back. Not all of the people that are able to invest, those over the age of 18, invest in stocks. Only a small percentage of the country invest in stocks. Cryptocurrency, in my belief, will be another asset class available to people to invest in. I think you and I agree on that. Because many
Hmm.
people in America do not invest, I don't expect there to be more people to invest in cryptocurrency than will be investing in stocks. I believe it will be either less or on par with those same people. The percentage of America that's able to invest will invest in cryptocurrency. So because of that, I don't think when people say people as a whole, I don't think everyone will go to cryptocurrency. Those who invest will invest, but we can still keep banging a drum on how beneficial it is to invest in cryptocurrency. But let's face it, everyone is not going to go, and that's fine. That is their choice to go or not go. Same as it's people's choice per price chart to buy or sell at certain prices. I'm dealing with a collective human psychology, and I can see that. That's all. That's it. And I would like
Hmm.
to answer the NFT situation. NFT, for those don't know, is non-fungible token. To give you an example, what a non-fungible token is, I'll say what a fungible token is. I know what it is, but it's good to recite the proper definition of fungibility. Filiti. I know I spelled it wrong, but what is fungibility? Fungibility is the ability of a good or asset to be interchanged with other individual goods or assets of the same type. So let's say I have $1. Everybody on this panel has $1. If we traded dollars, we would accept that dollar, each other's dollar, because it's the same. If my dollar was laced with gold, I wouldn't accept another dollar from a person because their dollar is not laced with gold. That's non fungible. So what a non-fungible token is a token that's unique. It's one of one. It's like no other. Like a baseball card, like a signed autograph of your Jordan ones from Jordan himself, like the shoes Jordan wore, those number one shoes he wore for the first time. That's fungibility. It's not like nothing else. And what a fungible token, to advance it more to a fungible token, what we're saying is tokens that has uh what's the word I'm looking for here? Tokens that has monetary value because they are one of one. It could be a token that represents a piece of art. It could be a token of anything. As long as people find value in it, I pick art because that's the new thing right now. Art, crypto art. It's one of one, and that's what a non-fungible token is. It's not interchangeable with other tokens.
Okay, welcome to Solo TV 84, everybody. I'm your gracious host, Solomon Jones, and we're doing a crypto stream with starring Lynell. You know what I'm saying? You guys know me. When Lynell comes on my channel, and I'm the assistant. You know what I mean? Trojan, we have you as well. Usually, Trojan, when I have you on, I like to talk to you about coins that you're bullish on, right? So Trojan, what are some cryptos that you're bullish on right now?
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked. You remember the one that I brought up, my favorite one, Theta, the last time?
Yeah. I remember you guys were repping Theta hard. Yeah. What's going
Yeah.
on with that?
So when I told you about it, it was about 24 cents. The market price right now is about 64 cents. So it went up about 3 times the price since then. Um, and I don't mean to rub it in, but XRP has stayed sort of in the same place. But I'll sort of get on.
I know.
No,
Trust me, I know.
no, but XRP is going to do a move, and with what XRP is doing, it's weird because the banks are sort of controlling the price because of course if you bump the crypto price, it can't be as useful as it is for the banks because it's not cheap anymore. But there are rumors and documents and news, especially with XRP's upcoming, partnerships and everything they're doing, that XRP is going to have a flash run very soon, probably around when this bull run starts, and it's most likely going to jump up to about $8 to $10 overnight, and that's because the banks want it to.
And when that
So
happens, you will see me buying Ike a nice meal somewhere in Colombia. Facts.
well, it's definitely either going to happen, if not this year, then at least the first 2 months of next year, because this is a move that we know the banks, because XRP is the banker's coin. I mean, there's no, so it's going to happen very soon. But like certain coins, they go up, based on like, if Bitcoin's like relieved, and then if they're making advancements and, different things. But XRP, I always said it had the ability to jump up a long time ago. It was just being held down a little bit. We really don't know the reason, but yeah, it should be when XRP does move, and like for real, like when it moves for real, it's going to most likely do a flash run up to $10. And then the second one most likely maybe up to $15 to $20. But Theta has been making many partnerships, and a lot of people are calling Theta the YouTube killer, because it's trying to create a decentralized platform for video streaming. So who knows? You may see a lot of streamers move to the Theta network, to stream over there, and stuff like that. But another big one people need to look at, and they may be running out of time, is Zilliqa. So Zilliqa is a project to pretty much increase the scalability of other cryptos by sharding. And first of all, they have made a partnership with the Singaporean government, and now the Singaporean stablecoin um, is partnered with Zilliqa. They've locked up some of the supply um, with the Singaporean government. They're making deals with China as well, and they have started their staking platform. So right now, roughly 2.3 billion Zilliqa is staked. The supply is 20 billion, but 10 billion is already locked up. So as of right now, 30% or 23% of all Zilliqa is locked up. And when it moves up past 50%, the price is going to jump big time. But the reason why I looked at Zilliqa is because Zilliqa was one of the biggest movers this summer. It has jumped probably more than any altcoin, that I was looking at this summer when it had its token swap in its mainnet release in June. So that's a huge one for people to start looking at it, and like I said, you don't need to understand how a cell phone works for you to benefit from a cell phone. You don't have to understand everything about this crypto, but you do need to understand that its technology is revolutionary and it's going to be adopted by millions, if not billions, of people. And then obviously the ones I keep dropping in the chat. I know I'm annoying with it, but Theta, Digibyte, Cardano, VeChain, and Zilliqa. Those coins are all doing amazing things, and not only are they doing amazing things, but they're trying to become a one for all crypto, where a lot of these coins are trying to do everything. They want to do what Chainlink does, and then they want to do what Monero does, and then they want to do all of that on one blockchain. And that's going to absolutely like blow up their crypto, especially when things start being adopted. But one more I will say that is very easy to access is XLM, Stellar Lumens. Stellar Lumens is going to be really huge in the future, because it's not going to be held down artificially, but it's sort of doing the same thing that XRP is doing. And it's providing a platform for quick and simple transactions overseas, peer to peer, between any two what do I call them? It's pretty much trying to create a like global platform for transactions, but it's on a larger scale, and they've had some really amazing partnerships recently. So Stellar Lumens is going to be jumping a lot in the future. But yeah, those are pretty much my top coins. But Theta and Zilliqa, people got to look at those. But there is still hope for XRP. I will say that.
Okay, all right. Hold on. Let's take a look. Somebody's asking some questions in the chat. So, somebody asked, "What's my PayPal?" solotv84@gmail.com. LaShawn Jefferson asks, "Wait, they have some government backing? Are you talking about XRP, LaShawn Jefferson, or which one are you talking about? Off market, open market, overseas government, not having a civil war, people not happy with government looking into our backing it now. Good info." Okay, I'm not exactly sure what he's referencing. You guys know what he's trying to say, or
No.
no?
He's
Okay,
probably talking
maybe.
about Zilliqa. Zilliqa has the partnership with the Singaporean government. So he's probably talking about that one.
Oh, so is Zilliqa centralized? I thought it was decentralized.
No, it's decentralized, but they formed a partnership with the
Okay.
Singaporean government. So
Oh,
if
okay.
you were to go on
Okay.
the Zilliqa wallet, yeah, you would get the Singaporean stable coin because they're trying to, push the liquidity into Zilliqa, from their own people.
Thoughts on Ethereum? Lynell, we'll start with you on that one. What are your thoughts on Ethereum?
All right, so before I go into that, I just thought about something the gentleman asked, or the lady, I don't know who asked, what was your PayPal address? And I thought Solo, can soon be able to be accept Bitcoin in PayPal because PayPal is accepting Bitcoin. Just thought about that. So you can
Okay.
be paid in Bitcoin or super
Well,
chat.
actually, I do have my Bitcoin address also posted usually in the description, but it's been a while since I've gotten crypto as a donation.
Yeah. And with Ethereum, everyone knows that Ethereum has been shifting to Ethereum 2.0. This has been going in effect since I've been into the crypto space. Ethereum crypto, wow, I'm talking too fast. Ethereum 2.0 is the transition from a proof of work protocol to a proof of stake protocol. Now, there's other implementations and other things that Ethereum will be doing that this Ethereum 2.0 will allow them to do. But the main sticking point of this transition is a proof of stake protocol. From what I've been reading, for a person to take advantage of the staking on Ethereum, they would need 38 Ether to stake to receive rewards. And that's fractions of Ether um, via staking their Ethereum. And from what I've been reading from different Ethereum developers, that the interest would be around, so you would get between 5 and 11% on your stake Ether per year. Now, none of those figures are written in stone. It's just what I've been reading from Ethereum developers. So that's what's going on with Ethereum for right now. I don't know what else the gentleman wanted to know for us to discuss, but those are my insights for right now.
Okay. My thoughts, I'll tell you guys in a moment because I was just looking at one of my portfolios. I have a nice little bump there. Ike, do you have any thoughts on Ethereum, sir?
Oh, thoughts on Ethereum, just off the rip. I like it because fundamentally it's not something that is trying to be in Bitcoin space, even though a lot of people whom you might classify as fundamentalists, Bitcoin fundamentalists, don't like Ethereum. But I think I like to put it the way Andreas Antonopoulos puts it, which is, you comparing Bitcoin and Ethereum is like talking about a shark versus a lion. These are top predators, but they're in total different spaces. So while Bitcoin is, sound money, store of value, Ethereum is more, about transactions and experimentation and smart contracts and all that kind of stuff, right? So fundamentally, I like Ethereum because whether people agree or not, it's not really a competitor with Bitcoin. So it goes in its unique space, and it is number two because it has that, that first, it has the advantage of being first, right? In that area.
Yeah, not to cut you off, but I've always said in the past that if Bitcoin were gold, then Ethereum is silver. I've always, used that as a metaphor reference.
Yeah, in terms of their positioning, right? That it's there's room for both of them, and Ethereum is not necessarily challenging in Bitcoin. Now, the thing that I guess that I really don't fully understand, or that what gives me some pause regarding Ethereum, is the fact that there seems to be a lot of a control with the, as far as, the Ethereum Foundation, Vitalik, so on and so forth. So far, it seems to be working just fine. But just something that is in the back of my head, and this is not based on any real evidence, but I'm just thinking like, oh, okay, well, this guy and his crew so far, they're doing good work and they have a lot of control. They're doing this and that, switching from proof of work to proof of stake, and people seem to trust them. But who's to say that that whole thing just doesn't come crashing down? And I know that there's a Ethereum Foundation that's kind of backed by many corporations and even governments, so on and so forth. But it's the whole decentralized aspect of it seems to not really be there, even though
Hey,
people trust them. But I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass or something.
no, you're not. I actually was gonna, say play devil's advocate, but can't be devil's advocate if you have sort of my same point. Um, I'm not really on Ethereum's team 100%. Honestly, I feel like they're an old dog that is trying to learn new tricks. Um, they were great with the smart contracts. They were actually the first with smart contracts. They have revolutionized the space, and they're continuing to do so with decentralized
Wait,
finance,
wait, wait,
DeFi.
Coach, not to cut you off because I didn't
Yeah.
really chime in, but I think you
Mhm.
would agree with me that even though you call Ethereum the old dog, and I do agree with that in a sense, but I don't think Ethereum is going anywhere. I think Ethereum is going to be around for a long time. Would you agree with me on that or disagree?
Oh, 100%. But you won't make as much money on it as you
Mm-hmm.
would with other coins. That's the problem I got with it. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
be pretty much, it's a coin for mass adoption, and it's going to be great for that. It's going to be amazing for that. And DeFi, decentralized finance, and moving to proof of stake, there are a lot of other coins that came out the gate with proof of stake. But like I said, Ethereum 2.0 is going to be great. That, see, I'm really bullish on that. Ethereum 2.0 is going to be wonderful. But the ideology, because I used to have this before when I was researching in the past. I had this ideology where I thought, okay, since Ethereum has so many coins on its platform via smart contracts, and it's doing all these things with DeFi, it's going to have this crazy price jump in the future. But I'm really looking at the numbers and a lot of what they're doing, and it's like they're going to remain relevant, and the price will go up, but it's not going to make people money. Because, like, okay, Ethereum jumps to $15,000. That's going to be like what, around 10 or 9, 8 to 10x. But if you jump into an altcoin that is doing the same thing, they came out with proof of stake out the gate, and they have at least 50 to 80% of their coins locked up in staking, then you're going to get a jump way bigger than 8 to 10x. It might be, 100x. There was a crypto I was looking at, and my group was looking at. It was called Huawei. AAVE, I believe.
Ave. You're
It
talking about Lynn.
literally, yeah, Ave, yeah. Thank you, my bad. That coin jumped like up to from I believe a couple of cents to $40, I think overnight. All I know is I checked it again and it was up to $40, and my mouth was on the floor. I was pissed at myself that I didn't buy any. But this is what an altcoin with amazing technology has the ability to do, versus an Ethereum. Because if Ethereum jumped up, that percentage, it would be up to like what, 50K, 60K, 70K, which it's not possible because altcoins are not there yet. They're not ready to pass Bitcoin yet. So it's like it's going to be great for adoption, and its platform is great, and it's going to stay around long, and it's going to, jump up higher than any other, but the percentage increase is not going to be as high as a lot of these other coins, and I feel the same for Bitcoin as well. But they are very important for the space. Don't get me wrong on that. Very important.
Now I have a question. Are you investing because I'm hearing two different things. Are you identifying cryptos on the basis of the percentage of the gains you could potentially get, or are you looking which cryptos are that you consider great and then the price?
Um, yeah, I remember Kevin O'Leary talked about on Shark Tank. He was like, every week I look at my portfolios and, I look at the ones that aren't really performing well. And, sometimes you just got to take the ones that aren't performing well behind the barn and shoot it. And, I say all that to say, like, I'm in this space to sort of make money and be in this, and use this opportunity, this transition, this transfer of wealth to gain the most amount I can. So what I look at almost every week is the top gainers and the top losers on multiple exchanges. And the coins that have constantly been in the top gainers, those are the ones I start to look into their technology. And then I see, okay, I see why they're the top gainer. They just made a partnership with Samsung to construct smart TVs where you can watch TV and earn cryptocurrency. Like I could see why that's, the top gainer like 5 weeks in a row. Or they just published their mainnet and they've been a top gainer 5 weeks in a row. I also look at the top losers, coins that pump a little bit and dump. Pretty much top losers is where you find the pump and dumps. The ones that they must have been artificially pumped from some social media person telling somebody to jump into it, and then it just dumped, which means it's not a good coin, really. Horrible technology because really the people don't really have enough faith in it to keep their money in it. But sorry, see, I went on a tangent. See,
So so
pretty much
your
I'm in it for money. Yeah, for
so
profit.
your process of vetting a coin is it's price action, it's consistent price action, and then you look at the technology.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
All
how I
right.
do it. And I've noticed a lot of these first generation cryptos, Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP and Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, etc., Tron, no offense, but their price actions are very unimpressive. And I've, been looking at them and I've been holding them and I'm like, dude, what? Like, this altcoin just jumped like 500% in like a week because it
Now, when you
released
say
some new
five hundred
technology.
percent, when you say 500% from what price to what price?
So I'm talking about specifically VeChain. VeChain started off at about, I believe, 0.0001 cent. And I believe right now it's currently around, I think either five to
It
around
said one
five
cent.
cents.
It
Is
said
that
one
one
and a
cent?
half, 1 cent.
Okay.
So, but it's
But it started
easier.
off at about 0.0001 cent.
Yeah,
And
it
then
was
in
it was
literally a
tenth of
week,
a
it
penny.
jumped up. Yeah, it jumped up
Yeah.
to the single cent mark like very
Now,
quickly. And
now,
a
but
lot of
it,
the first generation cryptos didn't do that.
Now, but it's easier for a V chain or a crypto that's in a low pennies to double. It
Yeah.
can double and still be below $1. As far as
Yep.
if Bitcoin were to go 500%, it'll have to go to the high 100,000s. So
Yep.
it's not that because these first generation coins are poor. It's just because that human psychologist said, well, I can get a bunch of these at a penny, and if it goes to 2 cents, I double my money.
Mm, mm-mm.
That's
No, it's also because they have a lot of room to increase because they're
that's the
in its
same thing.
early stages. No, but they're in their early stages. So any little increase, it would be a lot larger than if Ethereum. Okay, so
That's what
Ethereum
I just
is,
said.
but okay, but Ethereum,
Yeah, you guys basically agree. You
yeah.
basically
But
agree.
like, okay, like a lot of first generation cryptos are not really moving until the bull run starts or until some information is, sent out. But these altcoins that nobody's really looking at that have amazing technology, if it just gets added on a good exchange, it jumps up like 10x right there. And then if it gets added on a really good exchange, it jumps up even more. It could get added to like Coinbase, it'll jump up even more. And then you're holding that coin while it's having those continual price jumps. Meanwhile, the coins that are established don't really have that because they're getting closer and closer to their ceiling. It's sort of like muscle maturity. Like, I could train as much as I want, but I'll gain a certain amount of muscle mass in a day. But if somebody who's never worked out a day in their life jumps into working out very heavy and with strict dieting, tons of chicken, tons of eggs, tons of protein powder, they're going to gain more muscle because they're starting at a lower point. And my point is to get in on that ride while they're at their lowest, so you can ride those price increases and you will get more money in the end.
That's what I said in the beginning, though.
Oh, okay, my bad, then I guess I misunderstood, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just that. Go
Um,
ahead, my bad.
JC Riggs, we got you in here, sir. What would you like to
Well,
say?
good evening, gentlemen. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you for having me on, Solo. I came on because of what Trojan said about Aave. Just a quick addendum. The reason why it jumped from like 30, 40 cents to like $40 was because the Aave Foundation was using the Lend token, which was recently about like 60 cents, dropped down to like 30 cents. And the Aave Foundation decided to switch from using the Lend token to their own Aave token, which was 100 times the value of the Lend token. So basically, if you had 100, Lend was worth one Aave. So that's why it went from like 30 cents to almost $40 because they switched to a new token that was 100 times the value.
So they gave you more tokens.
No, they gave you less tokens because like the Lend tokens were like,
Okay.
I think a couple billions or so. The Aave tokens now they're going to be at most 16 million
Oh,
in
okay. So
circulation.
Wow.
it went up in price because token supply was taken out.
Yes.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Aave ERC20 token?
Yes. Well, at
Now,
least
Hmm.
yes, it's the ERC20.
so it's ERC20 tokens, and most DeFi tokens and other protocols are on top of the Ethereum blockchain. And the Ethereum blockchain uh, token is an ERC20 token. And that's how if a coin's address start with 0x, it's an ERC20 token that operates on the Ethereum blockchain. The reason I'm saying this is because majority of the crypto market cap is split 90% of the crypto market cap is split between Bitcoin, Ethereum and its tokens, and XRP. That's 9% of the crypto market cap, which means the other 5,000 cryptos have is divided by 10% of that market cap. So that's how I look at it. Also, along with the technical analysis, that's my little fundamental look at it. Which means a lot of times the liquidity may not be there. So you have to look at the not just the market cap, but the liquidity. How much liquidity is in these coins? If you're looking at a coin that has 100,000 liquidity, 24-hour liquidity.
But my question is,
Yeah.
how would the market cap influence the price?
I, the well, okay. How? Wait. Okay. The market cap. So if 5,000 coins is gobbling up or vying for $30 billion, if one market cap, such as Binance Coin, is $9 billion, that means a lot of coins are not. It's an illusion in some parts because a lot of coins are not going to go up in price the way people want to, especially if the liquidity is not there. The liquidity is a measurement of who's buying and selling that coin within a 24-hour period. That goes into if this coin or a coin is worth purchasing. That's those are numbers of the potential price increase. Those are the numbers that come out of that. So if a coin says, well, we made this partnership, but no one is buying and selling it, it has low liquidity, who am I to say this coin is going to go to X amount? There's no one, if I purchased it, there's no one there to buy it from me so I can cash out. I'm not grabbing this out of thin air. I'm looking at the market cap and seeing these top three cryptos hold majority of the pie. That's what it is.
Yeah, but they're not going to make people as much money as a lot of these altcoins will. I mean, in
Now,
2017, Bitcoin Cash outperformed Bitcoin actually in terms of percentage increase.
that's because it came from
Even
zero
though,
to 10,000. That's the only reason you're saying that, because it came from a very low price to a higher price. That's why it can get
yeah,
a 500% gain. If Bitcoin is at
and
ten
that's good.
thousand dollars, right? But you're saying,
You should ride that
it,
gain.
but you're basing that gain by the strength of that project. Just because it gains 500% because it was at a penny and now it's at $5 doesn't mean the project is perfect or strong.
Well, Bitcoin Cash actually is pretty strong because it's half of Bitcoin's original team incorporated into it. A lot of people think Bitcoin Cash is just another copy of Bitcoin, but it's not. It's actually Bitcoin got split into two, and Bitcoin Cash is the other half of it. And Bitcoin Cash, with what they've been publishing and all the different partnerships and the different goals that they've been achieving, they're trying to pretty much be what Bitcoin was supposed to be. Because Bitcoin is actually, in a way, starting to become a little more centralized. And a lot of people don't know that. So
How is
Bitcoin
it becoming
Cash is not,
centralized?
because the
How is it
government
becoming
is pretty
centralized?
much, the government is starting to get their hands onto it because they know
What
that
government?
people follow it.
What government? How they get? Now, see, I have to push back on a lot of stuff what you're saying. What government is getting their hands on it, and
The
how are they
United
getting
States
their hands on it?
government. The
How are
United
they getting
States
their hands on
government manipulates it by manipulating different markets around it to manipulate it.
it?
When
What
the
market? What
coronavirus,
market?
the S&P 500, when the coronavirus happened,
What
the
does the
S&P
S&P 500
500
have to
did.
do with cryptocurrency? Because earlier you said that
It
cryptocurrency is
has
an
a lot to
asset.
do with
Well,
cryptocurrency.
hold on.
If you notice,
You
when
said
we
that
had Black
cryptocurrency is
Monday,
an
no, no, no,
asset
no, no.
to
Let me
Hey
people
answer
guys,
your
who
question.
one at a time, one at a time, guys. Come on, we
Answering your
got this.
question.
We got
So let
this.
me answer your question. So you said, how does the S&P 500 correlate with cryptocurrency or Bitcoin? It correlates because when we had coronavirus and the markets tanked, crypto tanked with it. Crypto usually doesn't tank until after the halvening. Crypto tanked around that time with the S&P 500, and because of that, we didn't have the historical crash that we usually have after the halvening, which has happened back in 2016 as well. Because, like I said, I'm using that as an indicator of what's happening now.
Okay. Yes, the correlation is positive. I've showed that the last time I was on this show of how the S&P 500 and the Bitcoin was correlated. I've said that already. I showed the charts. The
Yeah,
S&P is correlated with the dollar.
and it's also correlated with cryptocurrency as well
But you
because it's being
disagreed with me
manipulated.
earlier about that. You disagreed with me earlier about that.
I did not
Er-
disagree.
Yeah, Trojan, he is right. You did disagree earlier, man.
Well, I disagree that that Bitcoin and crypto is going to go down um, with that correlation with the dollar, because I believe
But
that crypto is going to be going up a lot, like
but
starting now.
you just contradicted yourself. You literally just contradicted yourself.
How so?
Okay, you said you believe crypto is going to go up, but you said that crypto is correlated with the S&P. What if the
Yeah,
S&P falls? Because it's falling right now. I can show you the charts. What if
that's
S&P
why I'm
falls?
saying that's
Will
why I'm
Bitcoin
saying I
fall?
don't believe that the dip is over because the S&P 500 is still falling.
But you're agreeing to what I've been saying for the past hour.
No, but you said it's going to start falling, into next year or
No,
from
I
now on.
didn't.
I'm saying in the
No.
short term right now, it's still it's not bullish yet because we may not be out of the dip.
Uh,
But that's what Lionel said earlier. Because right,
Okay, guys. Here's the thing. Okay, guys. Because I got 10 minutes left, and I gotta head to dinner. So I just gotta read the super chat real quick. And this is a good discussion. I mean, we can certainly continue at another time or whatnot. Shout out to Langa Minguini with the $15 super chat. He or she says, "I appreciate these discussions. Please see my input below regarding this topic." Can you repost that because I don't see where you mentioned. And then Julius Dallas said that he dropped something in the PayPal. I haven't seen it yet, but who knows? Maybe PayPal is slow. Shout out to the Prince of Salmonia, aka Legend of Salmonia, dropping $10 in the Cash App. Appreciate that. And by the way, guys, here's the thing. I think that it's cool that we can respectfully disagree with some of our strategies and ideologies when it comes to cryptocurrency, right? Because, and this is one of the reasons I have this panel, because some people, Lynell, may not agree with my strategy, which is very basic hodling. I have friends who are traders and they smirk at that strategy, right, Ike? And then some people may agree. So my thing is this. Here's my thing, and you guys may roll your eyes, but I'm gonna I'm gonna play Nelson Mandela on this stream here. If you if you're here at this stage right now, in my opinion, you're winning, obviously. But anyway, we can certainly discuss this more in the future. JC Riggs, I'm going to start off with you in regards to final words, sir. What would you like to say?
what I want to say is it seems like that Trojan and Brother Lionel are having two different arguments. Like Brother Lionel was arguing on the standpoint of the legitimacy of of a cryptocurrency project, how long it's going to last, and Trojan seems to be arguing about how much money you can make off a certain project. And yes, you can make quick money off of smaller cap coins, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best option in terms of a long-term hold, which is why it's very important to do your own research. But in any case, I want to say thank you for having us on, Solo. I think it's important for people to be having these kind of conversations about their financial futures and different ways to invest, because at the end of the day, all we have is ourselves to have our backs. So that's all I just wanted to say.
Okay, thank you. So Langa reposted this. Cryptocurrencies are pegged to fiat currency and are a subset of the overall market, therefore are highly correlated to the dollar, yen, etc. And then the daily Bitcoin volume is 4.1 billion. It dwarfed by the daily dollar value of U.S. equities, parentheses stocks, 446 billion, bond 893 billion, and global forex market daily volume of 1.98 trillion. Okay, now is that a question or is this a statement?
No, those are facts. Those are facts.
Okay, okay. I guess Longa said it's got a little bit more to type, and then we're just gonna wait. And by the way, guys, let me, of course, do the legal disclaimer. This is not financial advice. Please seek a professional license from, financial advisor or accountant before you do anything. This is simply me talking to some friends, like we would over coffee, about the things that we're doing. Okay, so this is not financial advice. Um, Okay. Final words. We'll go to Ike. Ike, what are your final thoughts about this PayPal situation in regards to adoption, and any other final thoughts you have, sir?
Well, I would just like to mainly reiterate what you said regarding if you're here right now, you're still early. Okay. Granted, a lot of us would have wished that we got into it. I'm speaking for myself right now. When I first heard Andreas Antonopoulos talking about it on the Joe Rogan Experience, it was probably like 2011 or something like that, right? Yeah, I wish I got into it then, but if you're here right now, you're still early. There are a number of ways to go about doing it, whether you're looking at it from a fundamentals aspect or from just strictly analysis, right? The technical analysis, that is, right? Or whether you're trying to get into it from a safe point of view, you're waiting for ETFs to arrive and you're waiting for it to be in your 401k or whatever it may be. But what I'm seeing right now is crypto all over the place, right? Not even the big people who are coming into it right now, but the fact that when you mention Bitcoin, who's the flagship of the area, a lot of people know what you're saying, right? It's hard to get somebody who has never ever heard of Bitcoin, and I think that that is great for the space, whether you are just speculative or you are a hardcore libertarian trying to take down the system, right? So I wanted to just thank you again, Solo, for having me on. I'm working at the same time as doing this, so I was a bit distracted and so on and so forth. But hopefully, I was able to add to the conversation. And if I could plug, can I go ahead and plug my channel, Solo?
Yeah. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So I'm going to be doing a stream later on my channel. It's about, because somebody in the comments asked about, and I'm going to put my channel over there on the link on the chat, I should say. Someone asked, what kind of books I read and so on and so forth. So I'm going to start a series on books that I read, and I'm going to be doing a stream later on today, 7 p.m. Eastern. That'll be 10 o'clock. 7 p.m. Pacific time. Okay, that'll be 10 p.m. Eastern, and I'll be talking about the book called The World as Will and Representation, philosophy book, metaphysics, and so on and so forth. But go ahead, check my channel, check out the stream later on, and thank you again very much, Solo and Trojan and Lynell, as usual. Great stream. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and then let's go to Trojan for final thoughts and whatnot. Go ahead, Trojan. Final thoughts, sir.
Okay, so yeah, I do kind of want to clarify. I probably thought you were talking about like Bitcoin going down throughout the next year. So I didn't know you meant in this cycle right now, where we're at right now, and into, what the movement will be. So, I do apologize. I probably got that wrong. So my main point is pretty much follow the top gainers or the ones that have amazing technology, research them, find out what they're doing, what partnerships they're doing, the market cap, the circulating supply, what supply is locked up, whether they're doing proof of work, proof of stake, all of that stuff, and try to find some really good altcoins to get into, because when this bull run starts, there's going to be a lot of money being made in a lot of these altcoins. And that's pretty much my big thing, because there's so many cryptos out there that are doing huge things. And I honestly believe a lot of these cryptos are the next Google, the next Amazon, the next, next big, Fortune 500 companies pretty much in the form of cryptocurrencies. So definitely don't miss out on this wealth transfer. Everybody should take advantage. Thank you, Solo, for letting me on the panel. Thanks, Lynell, Ike, JC Riggs, all you guys. It's been good.
All right, thank you, sir, for coming on. We appreciate you. A lot of good insights. And then Lynell, of course, I'm gonna let you go ahead as well, sir, with final thoughts. Go ahead, Lynell.
First, I'd like to say thank you all thank you so much for having me on. I want to say shout out to Ike, shout out to JC, shout out to. I apologize again for forgetting your name.
Trojan Magician.
Trojan Magician. It's that second name that threw me off. The magician threw me off. I want to reiterate, I am a technical analyst. I never said, and this is general, and I never will say fundamental analysis is trash. There's two different camps, fundamentalist and technical analyst. It's always going to be. I'm not going to say no to fundamental. My standpoint is my standpoint. I look at the charts, I look at the probabilities of what could happen, and I go from there. That's where I come from. My YouTube channel is on Crypto with Lynell. I go over the daily cryptocurrency news and insights. I do have skin in the game. I do own cryptocurrency, so I'm not from the sideline shouting what is going on. I am in the game. I'm a wide receiver. I'm the second generation of TO. Yes, I said that. So that's me. That's me, baby. Yeah. In a nutshell.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, final words. As you guys know, Solo TV 84. This is once again a different type of stream, right? But anybody who's familiar with my content, we've been talking about crypto since late 2016. And then I didn't have skin in the game until 2017, when my friends who are now retired millionaires at the age of 30, right? They told me to get on. And once they told me to, I didn't hesitate, because these guys are very smart guys. And then, they retired because they had a lot more money, and they hit some nice ICOs as well and whatnot. Here's the thing. I'm not an expert, never claimed to be. I think that when I watched my older videos, I was definitely more knowledgeable, because you become more addicted to the space, and you always are consuming information. And I think that with what's happening right now, the fact that crypto is up to 13,000 has definitely got my attention. But once it hits 20,000, then I will definitely be, I guess, go back to alert mode, Lynell, right? Where every time you get an alert on your phone, you're just checking. Yeah. I mean, it was crazy. 2017 was crazy. But my biggest thing is this, guys. Do your own research. A lot of guys come in and they want quick. Listen, guys. A lot of the stuff, do your own research. My Cryptocurrency for Dummies channel as well is a very, very basic channel for beginners, because when I first got into crypto, there was a lot of stuff I didn't understand, the language, the slang, the nuances. And so that's the reason I started that channel. And, it's so I refer a lot of people to go to that channel to begin, just as a beginner's look over, and do your own research, because, some of the stuff, for some people, it may go over your head. It's not going to make sense. And no disrespect to any beginner. I'm not trying to talk down on you or anything, but for us to always explain certain basics becomes very, cumbersome at times, because, we want to keep it moving, but we certainly are not opposed to doing so. Because sometimes, even in the past, I always say, hey, Lynell, can you just explain what blockchain is or something, just so that the beginners can get it? But sometimes we want to just talk about what we're talking about, right? So I highly recommend doing your own research, and I'm very thankful for you guys who are watching the stream. Hit the like button. This is the type of stream, unfortunately, a lot of people are not going to watch. But if I were to talk about, Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion, then this would be a bigger stream. But this just lets you know that you're part of the chosen, right? You 40 people right now watching, you're part of the few. You're in the know. So if you're watching this, you are ahead of the curve, because by the time all those other people are catching up, you're already going to be far ahead. Okay. So just know that. Thank you guys. Salute to you guys, and we're out. Peace.